Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is that you inky savages are joining us for episode number 146 of the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast. I'm excited to be here, and as you can see, Tom, for sure, is excited to be here as he's practicing his punches for the first time ever, as you can see.
You put your thumbs inside, right? Is that how it works?
Right. That's
Yes.
how you make sure you break both thumbs when you are punching someone in the face. So,
Yes.
Thank you for being here. We have actually something I want to talk about. It's really interesting. Might be kind of controversial. Might get some haters out of it, but that's okay because I like to talk about fountain pen stuff honestly and openly. But before we get into that, please check out my sponsors. My sponsors are Gold Spot Pens via the affiliate link. Thank you for your purchases. And guy who sent us an email saying you bought 2 Leonardos. That's really awesome. I'm glad you were able to save money using coupon code POTATO. P-O-T-A-T-O. Potato. At checkout. Using the affiliate link, use coupon code POTATO for an additional savings on a lot of products on the Gold Spot website. There are some exclusions that do apply with some controlled products and whatnot. But thank you guys for checking out that affiliate link and using coupon code POTATO. Common spelling. The only one spelling, even though I thought that there was more than one, because I'm stupid. And also, have you guys heard of Butterfly Nebula from Colorverse? It's back in stock. Wow.
I have. I've heard of that.
Great.
It's a pretty cool ink.
How much coffee have you had before this episode?
Before? How about during?
Okay, we'll talk about coffee in a minute. But the insanely popular chromoshading glistening ink is back. Made to commemorate the first ever ink to make the cover of Pen World magazine. This ink, along with its partner NGC 6302. Okay. Great name, guys. You might want to have a talk with your marketing people in regard to naming stuff. Is an incredible ink set that never seems to stay in stock for long. So don't wait and get them while you can. So, my brethren Koreans of Colorverse are just pumping out these awesome inks with crazy names that sound like space stations in futuristic sci-fi movies, which is great. So make sure you get them, and while you're getting them, make sure to get them at Gold Spot using the affiliate link in the description below. And last but not least, please don't forget to check out my buddy Neil's Coffee Company over at brlcoffeeco.com. And make sure to use coupon code ROY for an additional savings on all products on the brlcoffeeco.com website. I'm telling you folks, it is the greatest and best coffee ever created in the history of anything ever created ever. And the coffee doesn't give you the crackhead jitters. And that, my friends, is a selling point. If that doesn't get you to buy in, I don't know what will. So anyway,
It'll get you amped up just enough to do a podcast at 8 o'clock at night, but not so much that you'll get the crackhead jitters.
That's right. Thank you, Tom, for the additional assistance to the read. Anyway, I'm excited about this week's episode. I want to talk about a few things. By the time you're listening to this, just know that I will be in Puerto Rico, basking in Puerto Rican sun, eating Puerto Rican steaks, and spending time with my wife while she is in a swimming suit. And that is always something that I look forward to. So before I get started with this week's episode of the PenBoyRoy Pentertainment Podcast, I just want to give you guys a quick disclaimer. This podcast is not scripted, and therefore will contain potty mouth words, both from Tom and I. So be forewarned. You have been warned. Now, on to the podcast.
The PenBoyRoy Entertainment Podcast. Stay savage.
I want to talk about some fuckery, or some possible fuckery. I might be wrong. All indications, as of right now, point to me being right. However, like I said, there is the possibility that I am wrong. But I want to talk about 2 separate websites, okay?
Okay.
And one of the websites I actually ran into while I was, scrolling Instagram and Facebook and all that good stuff. And the other one was on Amazon. So let me explain. On Instagram, there is a... Hold on a second, let me look it up. So if you go to Instagram and you type in, hold on, I'm trying to not accidentally disconnect us while I'm doing this, but there's
I'm working on this Instagram thing. I'm on there.
Okay,
So I search on Instagram.
wood fountain pens, one word.
Wood fountain. Oh, all of them together?
Yes, so wood, common spelling, fountain pens. If you don't know how to spell that, just get fired. Hashtag fire Tom.
Okay, so wood fountain pens. Do you want me to share it?
I want you to share it, my friend. Share the bejesus out of it. Because I don't, like I said, all indications point to some fuckery going on. I could be wrong. But if you look at the screen and you turn your attention to the screen if you're watching, and if you're not watching, try to follow along by going on to Instagram and searching woodfountainpens.com. I'm sorry, just Wood Fountain Pens on Instagram. Now, it's an e-commerce website that sells quality handmade wooden fountain pens. They have about 369 followers at the time of this recording and 648 people that they're following. Now, if you look at these pens, they're brass and wood pens, brass caps, brass section, stainless steel number 5 sized nibs. The barrel is made of woods, and it has a converter. Can probably use cartridges also. So if you click on the website that the Instagram post provides, it's woodfountainpens.com. If you would be so kind. Tom?
I am. It opened up a new window, so let me switch then.
Okay.
The windows.
So we're now opening up this new window. So it opens up a new window, and it takes you to the website woodfountainpens.com. So basically what it is a website that sells wooden fountain pens, exotic woods, and brass fountain pens. Now full disclosure and total transparency, I have not purchased a fountain pen from Wood Fountain Pens. Okay, now I want to go to shop. I want you to click on shop.
Let's shop.
And we're going to take a look at this pen, the Hemingway handmade wood and brass fountain pen. Not too bad looking. Right. MSRP $59, on sale for $49. That is $50. Now, can you just scroll so you can get a full image of that pen?
For interest-free payments of $12.25 by Afterpay.
So I want you to take a look at this brass cap, brass section, wooden barrel fountain pen.
No clip, completely streamlined in design so that the cap and the barrel would be flush when the cap is screwed on.
Right. Looks nice.
And, your cigar type... Actually, kind of... It's got a cigar-ish sort of shape on the barrel, but then the cap is more rounded at the top.
Right, with a flat top at the top. Now, just stop right there.
Oh, flat top. Okay.
Yeah, just take it's rounded and then has a flat tip at the top of the cap.
You could see the grain on this, but, it kind of looks like it's already cracking on this picture.
Maybe that one in particular. I don't know. It might be filled in. I can't really say. But look at the writing point, 0.7 millimeters, nib type, genus iridium, material, various hardwoods,
iridium?
And Brad.
Are they kidding?
So the iridium. It's just really, really smart iridium. It's smart. And the material is various hardwoods and brass. Let's click on our story. Let's look at their story.
Let's look at it.
Okay.
Can I read it?
Please do.
In the digital age, it is common to find that people are forgetting about handwriting and the physical art of bringing ideas from thought to pen and paper. This is why we at Wood Fountain Pens set out on a mission to empower people through the physical act of writing. The story behind our company began with the idea of finding a way to empower people to rediscover handwriting and the physical art of bringing ideas from thought to pen. You already said that. You started that already.
Right.
We promise to make you fall in love with writing in a modern world as you rediscover your stories. Oh, it's based in Brooklyn, New York? Really?
Yes.
Okay. It's founded by an architect and designer who has a lifelong passion for creating beautiful yet useless objects. I said useless. This drove them to dedicate their time to research and design so that Wood Fountain Pens can offer you a sleek, precision-machined, handcrafted fountain pen. We now serve all customers all over the world and are thrilled that we're able to turn our passion into our own website. Okay.
Okay, so the rest of it, just real quick.
Yeah, I think that's just about it.
Yeah, out of handcrafted labor and exotic materials, we promise to bring elegance to the stroke of your hands through our very own wood fountain pen, the Hemingway.
The stroke of your hands.
Let me finish it. We hope you enjoy our products as much as we enjoy offering them to you, because we believe that your story is meant to be written with class and elegance. Sincerely, Dave, Founder.
Now, whenever I hear Dave and Founder, I immediately think
Wendy's. Okay, now, what I want you to now do is click on the Amazon link that I also sent you.
All right, let's switch this up.
But wait. Before you do that, can you just go back to the picture of the pen so that it's seared in the memory of everybody watching?
Let's back that up.
If they are
This
watching.
one.
So there's the picture. Sear it. Sear that.
Let it simmer.
We'll scroll down to the one with the brass cap. Okay, those right there, all 5 of them. Yeah, that's a great display of
let it
these
marinate.
pens. Right, let those pens marinate into your brain.
Let it soak in, absorb all the flavors.
Let that image be the tomato sauce to your spaghetti noodle. And now switch over to the Amazon link. Now remember, these pens are $59, but at a discount for $49. What a bargain. Right? Maybe.
Wrong!
Introducing the fuckery. Stone Go handcrafted wood fountain pens, vintage fountain pen with ink refill, converter signature, drawing, writing, journal, calligraphy, antique, executive, business, gift pens, medium, 0.7 millimeter nibs, and there's various different woods. This
$6.49
Okay.
prime.
Now,
Sorry, did I kind of spoil it for you?
No, it's fine. It's fine. I just want people to have the information. Now, this is the pen. I got this pen in like the redwood. And
oh, you do? I'm looking at the screen, so I'm not paying attention to you.
No, I'm not holding it yet. But
I hear
scroll over.
you fidgeting. I hear the material kind of going. So I don't know whether you're showing it or not. So
not yet.
I'm like looking at the other screen.
I can actually see that the screen is occupied by your screen share, so I wouldn't show you something if you can't see it, or if people can't see it. So just scroll over the image, right?
Let's scroll all over it. Let's take a look at that bad boy.
Look at the nib. Look at the cap. Look at everything about that pen. It's entirely identical. Now, like I said, full disclosure.
But is this an Iridium Genius nib though? Because,
right.
I mean,
is there a Genius Iridium? They called it.
Is it a Genius Iridium nib? Because I mean that's obviously proprietary.
Right. So if you look at it, the pen that are from both pictures are identical. They're identical down to the measurements. They're identical down to the nib measurements. It's just the same pen. Now, like I said before, full disclosure, I did not buy a pen from woodfountainpens.com. I only bought one from Amazon for $6.49. And I have it in my possession. Now, the only real true way for me to determine that they are identical is to buy one from Wood Fountain Pens, but I don't know if I want to spend $50 on this. All I can say is all indications point to it being the exact same pen. One is, they're both unbranded, first of all, and if you look at the pictures, there are nibs in the Wood Fountain Pens website that show the exact same nib.
Yeah, that's a pretty distinctive looking nib graphic as well.
Right. It's distinctively generic looking, and they both share that. They both
even
share...
It's not like, it doesn't even look like a Schmidt, which is generally like the number 5 nib that you would see. It's like either Schmidt or Jovo. You would see a number 5 and be like, oh, it's a Schmidt or Jovo, and you know that doesn't necessarily tell you that the pen could be knocked. It could be like a carbon copy or whatever. But this being that it's the same exact nib graphic that's on top of it, you know, that's very unique in itself.
Right. And if you go back to the website, yeah, there are some other nibs that have slightly different variations, but there are some pens with the brass cap and brass section that are they are just exactly the same. So do with that information. Well, I have the pen right here. It's a decent pen. There's nothing. I can't say anything bad about it. It's other than it rolls. It rolls
has no roll stop.
If you had no roll stop, it rolls straighter than a perfectly straightened pool stick, and it's a decent pen. This one I paid $6.49 for, based on images on the internet. Now, yes, should I get both pens, buy both, and then say, hey, look, they're exactly the same? Or is that less relevant? Because a lot of purchases online nowadays, when it comes to pens, are done based on images on the internet. So I'm going to provide you the same information that I was provided with, that was available to me, and that is 2 websites with the exact same pen, what looks like the exact same pen. One is $49 from Brooklyn, and the other one is from Amazon, and it's $6.49. So some may argue, based on the information I have available, it's not enough information to call out fuckery or some tomfoolery. Maybe they're right. But it is fair to say that if this weren't an experiment or testing the differences of the two, and it was from the perspective of a consumer, which I am, which one would I buy? For sure, I would buy the one that was $6.49, hence it being in my possession. For people out there who are listening or watching, it's a fair assessment based on the information available that is the same between both you and myself to say, wait a minute, there's some tomfoolery going on here. Now, I don't know the backstory. Maybe this guy had these pens made specifically to this design because this is what he envisioned. And then the people, because this could very well happen, the people that he contracted to make these pens said, you know what, it only costs us $3. This, we could sell it for double and make the same money selling to the end user as we do selling to this person or company, woodfountainpens.com. So they might have screwed him over, or he's sourcing these from Amazon and just trying to make a massive buck off of everybody else who doesn't know any better. I don't know. I don't want to villainize woodfountainpens.com because I don't know the full story. I'm wondering
we're gonna dig into this just a little bit more.
Let's see what you're digging into. It sounds like keyboard clattering. Now, I feel bad because I don't want to destroy anybody and I don't want to hurt anybody. But at the same time, if there's a possibility of someone buying a $49 pen and they could get it for $6.49, then I want to prevent that person from being hurt by spending $40 more than they need to, or 41, 42. I'm not good at math. I'm good with words. I got good words. I don't got good math. So I want to prevent that also, because that's also hurting somebody who's making the purchase. And I like to look out for, for the customer. I also like to look out for people in this.
God, how many captures do I have to do? Jeez.
Hold on a second. What happens if this guy, Wood Fountain Pens, is a legitimate business person who invested money in a company to have pens made and they're fucking him over? I want to protect that guy too. Maybe that's the case. Then he needs to.
Roy, we're gonna find out, because you just sent Wood Fountain Pens an email that asked them, is this the same thing as the Amazon listing? And if not, please explain why. So
I sent that email?
Yes, you did.
I don't remember sending this email. Could you clarify what the fuck, man?
Yeah, the little tapping I just did. I just sent them an email.
Oh, I got to see the full email now. Let me.
No, I just said if are these the same pens that are being made? Is the Hemingway the same pen that's being made on or sold on Amazon for $6.49, and sent them the link to it? And if not, please explain the reason thoroughly.
I don't see the email in our sent box from the Pentertainment.
No, I filled out the contact form on their website. So
and
that's why I was like, why are there so many captchas? Like, I had to point out all the damn crosswalks and traffic lights and bicycles. Like I had to do like at least 6 or 7 different captchas. It's like trying to break into Fort Knox just to send an email. Jeez.
I wonder what's the return email address.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't even see it. Like there is no like. Let's see if there's there's the contact us. Oh wait, there's customers@woodfountainpens.com would be the email address you could send directly to. So
my question is, when they reply, who are they replying to?
Oh, it'll be to you, PenBoyRoy, Mr. PenBoyRoy.
But what email address is attached to the sent? You have to fill in an email address, right?
Yeah.
What did you send?
I sent it from your email address.
PenBoyRoy@gmail.com? All right. You're such a dick.
I also subscribed you to a lot of things.
Oh, nice.
So if you ever get an email and you're like, I didn't subscribe to this, that's me.
You know what's going to end up happening? You're going to have a lot of listeners who are like, hey, that's a funny way to fucking prank him. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send out like 35 different emails asking 85 different questions to fucking... I just got an email from brlcoffeeco.com. Your package is arriving tomorrow. Yay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
just
I got
right before leaving for the trip, reloading on the coffee. Are you bringing the
Yeah.
coffee with you, or are you just reloading it for the house?
I'm just reloading it for the house. All right, so let's take a second and let's do some meditative breathing. Let's try to burn off some of that coffee that you had. All right, and let's have a calm discussion about how did you feel about all the information that I just presented to you since the start of the episode.
Smacks very familiar of a lot of things that I've seen in the past in the pen industry, especially when it comes to advertisements. I was going to call it advertisements, but I didn't want to get you upset. Advertisements seen on Facebook and Instagram particularly of these companies that will hack together like content from other people, including Ink Journal's been ripped off before. Was it like the one guy, My Custom Puppet? Remember him? I forget, was Nathan, I think his name was. And they take these videos. I'm not saying that this company would Pen Co. whatever does this, but I've seen it before where these companies will kind of try to market a very inexpensive pen that you could usually find on either Amazon or on what's the other site called, the big
Etsy?
one? Well, Etsy. I'm trying to think. I can't remember the all right, no, whatever. But like those cheaper pens, and then they would take them and then say, oh, well, these are fine, right? And they put so much marketing puffery around it, but yet these are the same pens that you could get $2, $6, and that's it, all inclusive price. And then here they're making you think that a $50 is a good price point.
I think some research is required for this one too, because are there any photographs that are duplicates from Amazon to Wood Fountain Pens, Instagram, or anything like that? You know what I'm saying? If they're using the same photographs, they're either ripping off each other or they're the same entity. Wood Fountain Pens is the same company as Amazon. And obviously these are cheaply made Chinese fountain pens. And if you look at the October 8th post on Instagram by Wood Fountain Pens, there's a writing sample that's written in Chinese, I think. I don't know. I can't read it. But looks to me as though this Wood Fountain Pens based in Brooklyn is also possibly a Chinese company. I don't know. Or it's not, and he's just, like I said, he's sourcing them and not realizing that the sourcing company that's making them for him is totally jackknifing his concept or pen.
Or I
because
think maybe this could be like a drop shipping sort of thing.
It could be.
I'll explain that for people that aren't familiar with the concept. Is that a website could pop up and it's a store, but they actually don't have any inventory themselves, nor do they make anything themselves. They just drop ship from another brand that could be overseas.
Right.
And for a significant markup. So the value that they add as a company is that they can just try to market it better online than anybody else does. So instead of just like throwing their products up on Amazon, these companies would just say, okay, well, let's make a nice website. Let's try to put some articles out there, make an Instagram page, as you saw with the wood fountain pens. You could, put some effort into making some articles that would be SEO friendly for search engines and get some traffic maybe that way. And then also put, like you saw, ads to generate more traffic to the website. And the ad spends would then be kind of consumed by the fact that you're charging a lot more than your product costs. So you have some margin in there to be able to be like, oh, well, it cost me $10 a conversion to place these ads on Instagram and Facebook, but yet still even with $6 costs, and selling it for $50, I'm still clearing a lot of profit per sale.
Right.
So,
well, listen, clearly, if that's their function, they're not doing it well, because I know they've been around for the better part of 2022, and they only have 369 followers. Not that the number of followers indicates how successful they are, but it could. I'm looking at who they're followed by, and I'm going to drop 4 names because I know they're popping up. They're I guess mutual followed people, but it's showing One Fallen, Five Angel, Carry Bullet Journal, the Pensive Fountain, and Welcome to the World with Sean. Most of those people I know as a fact listen to this show. So if you're listening to this, guys, I need you to do your research before you drop $50 on a pen with wood fountain pens. And if you do your research and you so decide that you want to buy from wood fountain pens, all the power to you. But I want you to do so loaded with information and armed with information that this $6.49 pen that I have in my possession can very well be the same pen that you're spending $49 on. And you have to ask yourself, why are you supporting that $49 pen and the business? And this is where the research comes in. Is this person being unethical, or is the company that's making the pen being unethical? Either way, I think it warrants, and I think it's a good idea to look into a little bit more before you spend your hard-earned money. And like I said, this shit can go both ways. It could either be this guy or this girl or this company, Wood Fountain Pens, who's like, hey, there's this pen on Amazon for $6.50. Let's buy up a whole bunch of them and let's sell them for $50. Or it could be a company that's like, hey, let's get these pens made out of brass and wood. I think that's a cool idea. Let's find a company that can do it for cheap. And they found a company, and that company is doing exactly what happened to Jaffa Brands when it came to the All-American wood pens. You remember those?
Yes.
The Jaffa company, they contracted their pen maker, whoever it is in China, to make them the All-American wood fountain pens. Right now, this is the most recent version of it, and then
Quad wood.
Right, but the ones that I'm talking about were solid colors, and I don't have it within reach, and I don't want to get up and get it. But what ended up happening is that pen existed for under double digits in cost on Amazon, and they were identical minus the clip and the branding, right? Also, the section has a little beefier on the Conklin one, right? So it could be that the manufacturer is just not entirely ethical and is screwing over their own client who's getting pens made with them, or it could just be the same people. The Amazon seller for $6.50 is selling the pen dirt cheap. They're still making money, and they figure, hey, you know what? I have a cousin or a brother-in-law that lives in Brooklyn. Let's use him to sell it to people, the same thing, for $50. Why not? And then let's just have him drop ship it, or let's just have him do whatever it is that you fucking said. You know what I mean? So like we're talking like possible scenarios that warrant some sort of investigation, because at somewhere with situations like this, somebody is getting hit over the head with a phone book, whether it be the customer paying more with wood fountain pens, whether it be the owner of wood fountain pens getting fucked over by the manufacturer, or whether it be there's nobody else that can get hurt. I guess that's it. It's either them two. Somebody is getting screwed over, right?
Yeah, somebody's getting exploited, whether it's the consumer
Yeah.
or it's the person that originally designed those fountain pens.
Right.
But just like I said, just generally from experience, and then also, did you see David Figboot's video with Ellington Pens? Did you see that one where he was reached to from these people at Ellington Pens, and it was this thing where he was reviewing this pen, and he's just like, I have to really say that there's some flags that came up when showing this review, and he is by far one of the nicest and like most diplomatic and completely like almost so objective to a fault, almost, where it's just like you just wish that he would just like go one side or to the other, but like he just is able to parse down the information like a scientist and just say, here are the facts. And if you're just a general watcher like I am, I'm like, yeah, this seemed like it's a fishy proposition too, because this Ellington Pens.
What's the story? I don't even know. Well, Ellington Pens, talk to me. Give me some backstory. What are you talking about?
Yeah, so there's Ellington Pens, and they're also on Instagram too. They have a pen model. They just introduced a whole entire lineup of pens in the last like few months, and this particular pen design seems like it's rather similar to other types of pens that you generally would see, that just kind of like the wood pens thing that are produced for a very, very small amount of money, and that you could generally find at a very low cost.
Okay.
But they are marketing themselves as something different.
Okay, so let's see what you're talking about. So I still don't have a clear picture of what they look like or anything like that. Let's share screens, and for anybody who's not watching, let's give people some information on what it is to search. Oh, shit. Ellington Pens.
Gorgeous fountain pens.
Okay, so those, just based on what I'm looking at right now, they look exactly like the Wordsworth and Black fountain pens that are on Amazon for $20, and they also look, that's exactly it. And they also look exactly like the generic Chinese fountain pens that if you just Google if you just search fountain pen on Amazon, but, they look exactly like they almost look like, they're very generic looking. Down to the rims of the top of the section.
Yeah, so they reached out to David. He did a review on it because he asked questions. He had questions. There were some suspecting things, like especially like reading through. It was like there was a video apparently that was posted. I don't have the video that's on here, but there was a video that used parts of the National Geographic Richard Binder video as part of the video. So it like actually used like clips of it that he recognized. And he's like, I won't show that in my video, but like I'll let you. And apparently the voice.
Wait. Finish your sentence. I won't show that on my video, but I'll let you. What are you saying? But
I'll let you watch. I'll let you listen to what that was being said. So like he actually had the audio clips of it, and as they were talking about it, you could hear it's a voice that sounds like the talk to or the text to speech voice on TikTok. Like it was somebody that transmuted or whatever words to text, words to voice. So it didn't sound like an actual person was speaking them. And here it is, like they're talking about like this one guy that started the company, this debonair, inventor of this pen, and kind of like inventing this idea of what Ellington is. And it's like I'm thinking that there's somebody behind the curtain there that's not exactly the Great Wizard of Oz. So
let's read their story. Okay, our story.
Was it writing? Okay, so I don't know who this person. Like over the years, as an educator, I've handwritten numerous papers with countless number of pens, but nothing quite matches the feeling of writing with a fountain pen. It awakens a particular degree of penmanship. The act itself is less like writing and more like wielding a paintbrush. The paper, your canvas. Collecting fountain pens has proven to be an expensive passion of mine, which had me asking, why are they costly? At least the good ones. Why can't we enjoy premium quality fountain pens without the price tag? Hi, I'm Ethan Ellington, founder of Ellington Pens, and my mission is to offer luxury, industry-standard fountain pens to the world without the eye-watering prices. Each Ellington pen has been designed with precision and produced using the same high-quality materials and fine craftsmanship as other, quote, luxury fountain pens. The catch? Unlike those big corporations, there's no unethical, gigantic markup. We're a boutique outfit committed to only charging what's fair without slapping on excessive label cost. Our lean approach allows us to bring luxury fountain pens directly to you, our customers, without having you to deal with multiple layers of retailers and distributors. And through my dogged research, that's what I discovered. High-quality pen brands have countless numbers of different middlemen and excessive marketing spend at multiple stages, which lead to swollen price tags. The final price you pay is inflated to cover all the different expenses and markups incurred along the way, and it isn't a true reflection of the pen's true value. The story of how I came to design this first collection goes back to the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. With little else to do, I spent 18 tireless but massively rewarding months in my London studio immersed in the design of what would be the first Ellington prototype. Using my background in mathematics, I toyed with different dimensions, constructions, and materials until I found the perfect weight to comfort ratio. Blindfolded, I tested our first prototypes against the most expensive fountain pens I could get my hands on and found virtually no difference. An Ellington pen is the world's first pen that is perfectly balanced, with both cap posted and unposted. Tried to swallow that one. Our first offering are 8 gorgeous designs in different colors for every mood and sensibility. The octagonal design of the cap pays true homage to this. Grab an Ellington pen today and own a luxury fountain pen at not-so-luxury price.
Okay, listen, before we tear into this guy, let's look at a full picture of the pen. Because right now, like everything he says, I like everything that he says. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing that I remember David had a particular issue with was the claim that it was the world's most perfectly balanced pen with the cap posted or unposted, and that just can't be true.
Right?
Like can't, especially with a heavy weighted cap like that with the little hexagonal, the little faceted nut that's on the top of it. There's no way that if you post that cap on the back, it's going to be balanced well.
All right, listen, if that's what David said, I believe that he thinks that. I don't know because I don't have the pen and I didn't post it and feel it.
Right.
I trust David, but I'm not going to now turn around and say that because he said it that I believe it. I don't know. But looking at the picture, you know, it's a very generic looking pen. There's nothing about it that particularly says unique design, and there are very similar pens that I've seen on Amazon. Just looking at it, down to that
tell
little.
me what I'm supposed to search, and I'll look it up so we could compare.
You know what? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm just even if you look up fountain pen on Amazon. The section looks identical to so many others, down to the step design where it meets the barrel, right? And the little ringed segments at the top of the section. It looks like a lot of stock parts being used.
Let's see. Thinking, ooh, this one kind of looks similar.
I'm not going to fault a company for having a pen that looks kind of similar. If we can't find one that looks exactly alike, I don't want to call a guy out for fuckery yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? I don't have the pen.
Well, I think that's also the reason why David could not take that jump to just completely say, okay, but like these are the facts. You do with it as you wish, you know?
What do you mean? He couldn't take the jump to say, okay.
He couldn't take the jump to say, yeah, this is, like you were saying, this is fuckery, you know, like that. But it's, you know, it kind of feels like it very much could be. That's the thing.
Well, I mean, honestly, just look at that section, other than being gold. Can you just Google or Amazon search the Amazon fountain pen? there's a $10 Amazon fountain pen that Amazon had made, and my memory is triggering. That section looks exactly the same, and I could be wrong because I'm not looking at it in front of me. But just when you look at the way the snap cap works, and if you look at the step design at the bottom of the section when it meets the barrel, it looks exactly the same. It also looks exactly the same as the Wordsworth in black fountain pen when it comes to the section. Again, I'm not looking at it in front of me.
I don't think Amazon has. It doesn't look like Amazon has a fountain pen anymore.
They do. You could find it.
They do?
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me try and look for mine.
Oh wait, there it is. Amazon Basics fountain pen.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Did you find it?
I did.
Okay.
Let me. That's why there's a way to like share to like switch between tabs. For sharing, share this tab instead. Am I sharing the right tab now? Yes, I am. Ooh, okay. I found a better way of doing this. Cool.
Yeah, but you see, like that little step design. Now, though, the Ellington pen is slightly variation is different in that.
Well, the thing is though, like, how much different could a snap cap be in its design? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I feel you, but that's too similar. The difference is the color, and also if you look at the ribbed section towards the front of the section, instead of 2 ribs, there's only 1 in the Amazon pen, and in the Ellington pen, there's 2 ribs, and there's not 1. So I mean, look up Wordsworth in black.
Let's look.
Yeah, look up Wordsworth in black, and. You know, like I said, I could be wrong. It does look different from the Wordsworth in black. So,
yeah, it's got like those rings on the grip there. But this one, the Scrivener,
yeah, Scrivener,
yeah.
But you know what the thing is, though. In all fairness,
this one's got a Schmidt on here too.
Yeah, it's also different in terms of the rib at the front and in the back. It has a different step. I don't know. It looks. Listen, the Ellington, is that the name? Ellington, it does look generic to me, but it might not be. Wait, go back to that royal blue one. Did you see that royal blue picture? That one right there, Wordsworth in black.
The sky blue?
Yeah, no, it's different. Yeah, it's different. In fairness, look, it's different. Yeah, I thought it was the same, but I was wrong. So put my words on a plate, and I'll feed it to me human centipede style. I deserve it.
I think it's worth if you're interested in the Ellington. Is watch David Parker's video, Fig Boot on Pens. Like it's not like he rips into it, because he's like, hey, you know, it was a pretty decent writing pen, but it just to him it called into a lot of questions, just like we were raising some flags about the Wood Pen Company. There's some concerns regarding some of these, you know, companies that all of a sudden just materialize and they propose that they're introducing a new product that's revolutionary and all of these great things, but at the same time, suspiciously, they just seem like they're, like you said, generic enough that you could easily get the same experience from a pen that is a meager fraction of the price.
Right, but we're also talking about the Hemingway. Hemingway, is that what it was called?
That was the Wood one, yeah.
Yeah, no. The Hemingway.
Are you talking about Ellington?
Ellington, yeah.
Yes.
The Ellington, yeah, it's a $40 pen, but until we can find the exact same thing, at least in photos online, that's like $7.
Yeah.
Unless we can produce that, I don't think that we should just call the guy a piece of shit right off the bat. I don't think it's
calling anybody. Yeah. No, we're not doing that.
No. I know that, but I'm exaggerating. But I think until we can say we have a pen that is identical, here is the image, here it is. Maybe it's a guy who's legitimately trying to start a pen company, and he created a design, and the manufacturer made the design to his specification using standard parts that they have, and they sent it to him, and he's like, "Hey, I like this. This is great. This is what I can go with this." And maybe he's a designer, a mathematician, whatever he says he is. Maybe all those things are true. He gets this prototype, and even it's jerry-rigged parts from a Chinese manufacturer. They used stock parts that they have. They're not going to machine new parts. And he bought it thinking that he designed it, and he's pushing it out there. And the combination of all those generic parts that the Chinese manufacturer has is different enough than what Wordsworth and Black has, or all these other generic pens that are on Amazon, so much so that it's his own thing. Now, we've seen all these generic pens so much that we remember segments of each and every different one, and then we're recognizing them all in this one pen that this guy, Ellington, is that what it is? Ellington has. And now we're throwing the book at him saying, oh, you're ripping people off. I don't want to say that just yet because I don't have enough information to say something that could hurt him. Meanwhile, he may not deserve it, right? Find me a pen that looks the same, that is way cheaper, in the same way we found the wood fountain pens and the Stone Go fountain pens on Amazon. Find me that, because that, I think, is the minimum amount of information necessary to be able to say there's some fuckery going on here. You know what I'm saying? I think with what we have with this guy, based on everything you showed me, I don't think we have enough to say there's fuckery going on. Because, listen, I thought the section belonged on another generic pen. I was wrong, right? And people might say the same thing. That clip looks like it belonged on another pen, but their memory could be wrong, just like I was. There are so many things that could be wrong until you show me two side-by-side snapshots. I'm not going to just say it's fuckery. It may very well be fuckery, but I'm not going to go there until I have pictures of the actual fuckery. Like at the beginning of the show, we provided everybody with wood fountain pens images and Amazon images by Stone Go. With that information, I could say, hey, there's a possibility of fuckery. And I didn't say that there is definitely fuckery. Well, actually, I did. I said there's definitely fuckery on part of wood fountain pens or on part of the company that's making pens for wood fountain pens. You know what I mean? There's certainly fuckery going on there, whether it's by the retailer or whether it's by the manufacturer. Fuckery is happening. Someone is going to get fucked over, be it the consumer or be it the wood fountain pen's owner. Something's going on. But with this Ellington pen, there just might not be. You know what I mean? You just might have a guy who started up a fountain pen company using the cheapest fountain pen manufacturer out there, using the available parts that they had. He put together this pen, and he thinks that it's unique, and he thinks that it's cool and all that stuff. Do I believe him saying oh, I'm a mathematician and I used fucking science and math blindfolded to? I don't know if I believe any of that shit. It could be true.
The blindfolded thing intrigues me. Do you think that you could tell the difference between? I think I could probably tell the difference between.
This is where I agree with a lot of what he said in his statement on his website. Because listen, when it comes to writing with a $500 pen versus a $20 pen, is there times where a $20 pen can outperform a $500 pen? Yes or no? Yes or no?
In terms of the feel and smoothness of the nib and everything.
Right.
Can it outperform? Well, it depends on what.
Let me give you an example.
Ends of the spectrum could be.
We have you are writing with a Pilot Metropolitan,
okay,
versus a Visconti that is $500, right? Blindfolded, which one do you think would write better, in your experience? Right. So there are pens that are sub $25 that certainly do outperform several $100 pens. And with his statement that he was blindfolded and, cheap pens certainly outperform some expensive pens, I'm with him on that 100%. That is definitely a possibility. I'm not saying that that's wrong, and I'm not going to disagree with that. Is it always the case? No, but it's certainly true in some circumstances. And again, compare a Pilot Metropolitan, because Pilot Metropolitans always write fantastic out of the box, and compare that to your standard Visconti pen, be it $300 to $700. There's a lot of quality control issues with those Visconti pens, right? And in that case, what he says holds water. Okay? Now, the whole blindfold thing, do I think they actually did it? Do I think that the guy was there with like fucking measurement tools and weighing the balance? I don't know. Come on, man. Show me some pictures of that shit. If you're going to say you conducted scientific experiments with fountain pens, make a video, post that. That'll be your best marketing tool, right?
Right.
Do something like that. Don't just say you did it. And this just goes back to my good friend Dante with his fast filler. It's 5 times faster. How do you know that? How do you know that? Did you time it? Like, where were we coming up with these
Did you talk to him
arbitrary...
about that?
No, I didn't. I was so happy to see him. I was so happy to see him on New Year's Eve. I'm sorry, New Year's Eve. The tree lighting. I just gave him a hug and, talked about the next time we're going to get together and stuff. I don't know if that's the first thing I should talk to him about. When I haven't seen...
this 5 times fast filler. I want to know all about it.
I have not seen him in years. But the thing is, though, the thing about Dante is he'll just be like, it's just a figure of speech. That's what I meant. I didn't measure. No, what the fuck is wrong with you, Roy? Don't make me hit you. That's what he'll say. You know what I mean? So, and I love the guy, and I have the utmost respect for him. You know what I'm saying? And so, listen, figures of speech for him are different than they are for me. Especially when you put him on paper. He might be thinking of it as like it's 5 times faster, meaning it's much faster. But to me, I'm taking those numbers literally. But and I think I'm justified in saying, wait a minute, if you're saying 5 times faster, I want to know how you got that number, right?
Right. No, I think that's totally fair because, I mean, to say 5, to quantify it as 5, there has to be some justification behind that. Like, how do you say 5 and not 2? Like, it could be twice as fast and still sound impressive.
Yeah.
But, like, 5, that just sounds, like we need to back that up with something.
Right, that's what I'm saying. 5 times faster is really fast when it comes to filling a fountain pen, right? Like, if you think about it, how long does it take you to fill a converter fountain pen with ink? Maybe.
Well, it depends. If you're using your hands or your feet, it depends.
Yes, let's add those variables in. Thank you, Tom. That's what I was missing. But no, so I'm saying, going back to the Ellington pens, I can definitely see where there is suspicion of some kind of, hey, why is this a $40 pen? It looks like the pens that are on Amazon and they're generic that are sold for, what, $12. Why is this a $40 pen? Sure, ask those questions, right? But I don't know if I can get on board with saying anything yet if I don't have the information at hand. And hey, listen, if you feel that way about the Ellington pen, then great, don't fucking buy it. If that's enough for you, don't buy it. It certainly is enough for me not to buy it. I'm saying it's not enough for me to say that this guy has some sort of fuckery going on. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? I'm certainly not going to buy an Ellington pen. I'm certainly not going to. It looks too generic and it looks too Chinese, cheap-made metal fountain pen that you can find on Amazon. Having said that, I don't think that there is, maybe there is, but I don't have another picture of an Amazon pen that looks exactly the same as the Ellington pen. You know what I mean?
You know who I do appreciate that you could see transparently the work going into these pen designs is Ben Walsh from Gravitas.
Yes.
You could see the various iterations of these Gravitas pens, the pocket pen, the full-size models, the ones of the droppers, the Skittles pen. You could see each of these things in development, and this is like part of his company's following is that everybody's involved in the design process where he's getting feedback from people before this stuff comes out. And for all of the marketing stuff that goes around these creation stories behind these other brands, you could see the guy that's doing this. You could see him working through all of these design ideas. You could see the work. He's not telling you he's doing the work. You are seeing that he's doing the work. And you're even though he's not making every single pen, he's getting these pens like parts are being made from here, whatever. You could but you could see him assembling them. You could see him designing. Here's my latest like you actually could see that it happening. It's not just him just telling you that.
I also like how he shares his concepts before they become a pen. Like he uses like these like computerized images and he makes like like computer graphics images of the
CAD
pen.
3D drawings and
Right,
stuff.
right,
Yeah.
and it's really cool. And he's making those, right? So he's certainly a pen maker in that sense, and he's very transparent with it. You're not wondering, oh wow, did he just steal it? And his the designs, they're as unique as they can possibly be for what they are. You know what I mean? When it comes to like metal pens, they're really cool. They're sleek.
Yeah.
They're cool designs and stuff. But yeah, I definitely think we should have him on the show.
We should.
You're in contact with him, right?
I've talked to him before. Yeah.
Yeah, I've just interacted with him, Instagram messages and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
he's
I can
over
tell.
in Ireland.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
can tell from my interactions with him on Instagram through the messages that he's a fun dude. Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah. Well, let's reach out. We'll
let's
chat with
definitely
him.
do that. Are you guys gonna at Goldspot? Are you guys doing anything with him, or is that hush hush for now?
I mean, it's nothing really in the works right now at the moment. We had reached out and tried to, kind of like lay the groundwork to come up with some things and start carrying some Gravitas pens, but it didn't really materialize past a certain point of like, oh, let's just, get this. I think he's very kind of like Shown Design is. They're very comfortable with the direct to consumer business model where they have such a great following for their individual company that they don't really have to rely so much on partnering with retailers and distributors. Which I mean, it's great. But like for a company like Goldspot or like the other retailers that want to carry the best of the best products in the world as part of their collections, like you want to include stuff that's up on that's up on people's radars, that is up and coming stuff that excites the pen community about. And unfortunately, sometimes you just can't get all of these companies in the fold with it. So
I hear you.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, it's getting late, and I have to pee. So.
All right.
Let's start wrapping this up.
Ends the show.
Right. This might have been a controversial episode, and I'm not throwing daggers at people. I am just saying that where it is necessary to raise questions, we should. For example, with the fine wood fountain pens, or already forgot the website, with the woodfountainpens.com, there needs to be questions asked. And the questions asked is, why is the exact same thing $6.50 on Amazon? Is it because they're the same seller, just shazamming people through this Wood Fountain Pens website? Is it that the Wood Fountain Pens website came first, had pens made, and now the maker is fucking them over? Or is it just straight up they're fucking over customers, right? And questions need to be asked. And also with this Ellington Pen Company, I think it warrants people looking into it, right?
Does Ethan Ellington actually exist? Did he do the blindfold test?
Well, I mean, just also that is like, this pen for $40 may be very well worth it. But is it worth it if there are very similar pens with very similar construction sold for $12? And if Ellington Pens is worth it and is better, why is it better? How are the pens made? Where are they made? And all that kind of, I just feel like these questions need to be asked before people spend money on them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that goes across the board to every brand out there. It's not enough to stop at just cheap pens. It's certainly important to ask when it comes to pens that are $50, $70, $100, $200, whatever it may be. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is. I ask questions about every pen that I ever get, down to this one here is one of my favorites, the Esterbrook. I know I looked into who's making these, who's making these. Why do they cost what they cost? And it's just like I found out. These are designed. These are the acrylics are picked out by the guys at Esterbrook, but the pens are made by Wancher. If you take the oversized Esterbrook Esty, you can take a Wancher True Ebonite and swap out all the parts. They all are interchangeable. Everything down to the section, the cap, everything. It's all the same, right? But how significant of a price difference is there from a Wancher and an Esterbrook? They're about the same. So can you really fault Esterbrook for charging what they charge? Not particularly, right?
Or could you say that the customer is being taken advantage of? Not really.
No, not at all. The Esterbrook is a different style made by another company. It's fine, right? It's not like Esterbrook is having pens made by Wancher and then charging 3 times as much, right? They're comparable in price. It's just a matter of Wancher does a lot of ebonites. Esterbrook doesn't do ebonites. They love acrylics. So with Esterbrook, you're essentially getting an acrylic Wancher, just branded Esterbrook. It's not that bad, right? Who cares? But when you're talking about fine wood fountain pens and stone go fountain pens, $6.50 versus $50, $6.50 versus $50 is enough to raise questions, and you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a problem. And then the Ellington pens, I don't know if it's a problem. It could be, but I can't really, like I said, I'm not going to go the route of calling them, you know.
But it's worth
whatever.
looking into and educating about. Like I said, David did a great job with being very objective and showing all the facts that he was able to obtain. He said he asked the company plenty of questions. Some they answered, others that he wanted to have answered did not get a sufficient answer to.
So here's my thing. How did Fig Boot get the pen? Did they send it to him?
They reached out. So they actually reached out to Ink Journal directly too. And I, after looking at their website for a little bit, I had my deep suspicions there. And normally I don't take product for review for Ink Journal because I feel like that's a conflict of interest on
right. So my thing
fronts.
is this:
so I'm like, no, sorry.
If they reached out to Fig Boot on pens, and let's say they are a company of fuckery, and not a company legitimately trying to design something and just trying to get out there, right? Because that's a possibility that you have a guy who just wants to get into the fountain pen brand company, have a brand, and he had one made, and he's like, hey, try this out. It could be that, or it could be a company that's full of fuckery trying to get one past Fig Boot. And if that is the case, fucking shame on you, because you're not getting anything past that guy, right? Like if I had to pick someone randomly to be an investigator, Fig Boot would be the guy. You know what I mean? So maybe they didn't do their homework, or they didn't need to because they thought the maker themselves are like, hey, let's do this. Let's, yay, we got a pen made. Let's send it out to pen reviewers. And then Fig Boot was one of them. You know what I mean? And Fig Boot's the most prominent name in pen reviewing, one of the most prominent name in pen reviewing. And they picked him because he's a big name, right?
Yeah.
It could have been all with, like, good intentions. Or it could have just been, like, let's use this guy to put our bullshit out there and give it legitimacy through him. And like I said, if that's the case, then you fucked up. You went to the wrong guy for that, So, I don't know. I think we should look into it, So.
Well,
anyway,
it'll warrant some more discussion if we find out more information. Then, if you get that email back from the Wood Pen Company and see what they say. So,
it's funny how you didn't bother sending it from your email address. You put down mine. I guess you feel that I'm more apt to handling conflict than you, huh?
Oh, it's not conflict. It's just you have a finer bullshit meter than I do.
Okay, that I don't know about that, bro. But if I guess it could be conflict because if they
and
come
plus
back,
you'll know right away. Like when you read the email, you'll be like, I have 15 questions. Boom, 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 and you'll know exactly what. Me, I'll just be like, okay, and I'll just close the email. But you'll be like right back at them. So
I think the difference is if you feed me bullshit, I'm going to call it out. And every little speck of bullshit, I'll call you out on it. So, and I guess that is the confrontational side of me.
I'm a little bit more, I feel like I'm a little bit more, like you said, non-confrontational when it comes to that, where I'm just kind of like, okay, something doesn't sound right, but I'm just going to be polite. I'm not going to like decide to attack, or try to pull the thread that's there. I'm just going to kind of like let it go, like just out of being more polite than anything else, or respectful.
But I'm not a bully, so don't use me to bully people. Okay.
No, I'm not. It's just I'm you're my investigator here. So
Okay,
you
sounds
investigate.
good. We should get Fig Boot on the job. We'll get Fig Boot. Well, he already did. I have to watch the video, and I would hope that what? Can you do me a favor? Can you provide the link to everything we talked about in the description in the show notes? The link to Fig Boot, to Ellington Pens, to the Amazon link, and to the everything else.
All the links will be in the description.
All the links will be in the description
in the
below.
podcast description.
Yeah, awesome. I really got to take a leak. So,
Yeah,
to everybody listening, love you guys. Be well, be safe.
Stay inky.